times I wish I was a sailor. Moon is looking mighty tasteful. You are looking like a treat. Every night and day I dream of swimming in you, big and deep blue sea. I know there's room for me. My time came and went, I skipped it every moment I could find. I do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, I do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, oh. Don't know much and not too savvy, so can wear the knot of salt to you. I'm looking like a treat. Every time I wake I miss you, even though I'm right there with you. You are right there next to me. My time came and went, I spent it every minute I could spare. I do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, I do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You would swear I was your shadow. Moon is looking very shallow. You are rising past my knees. Sad spirits, not too fancy. Never broke, I'm much too busy. Please tell me what you need. Always there, I blink and miss you. 60 miles away or even two. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, it's true. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa.
That was slick. Welcome to Bands of Bakersfield Podcast. Whoever's listening, we're part of the PodBelly Network. There's other podcasts, but I wouldn't listen to those. I just listened to this one. Today we have Midnight. I'm just joking. They're all good over there, I'm sure. We have Midnight Dorsett. Hello, guys. How are you doing?
Hello.
You guys enjoying your evening over here, doing all the sound checky stuff?
Very much so.
Those cymbals sound good. But go around the start with singer dude. I already know his name, but pretending that I don't because of the audience. Tell me your first and last name and what you play and all that, and go around the table.
Janelle Clough. Play guitar.
Sweet.
And I sing. My favorite color is green.
Mine too. I didn't know that.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's the theme.
Forest
I think,
green.
for this episode. Also green.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Your bass player's gonna screw it all
I
up.
know. He is.
Blue.
What's the drummer's name? No, what?
This guy. I'm Eddie. Eddie Aguilar Socho. I'm on drums.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you, sir?
Jose Manuel Ramirez, and I'm play bass.
Sweet. Cool. So, Janelle, we'll start with lyrics and all that good stuff, and maybe a little bit of song meaning. What was that about? What was the name of the song first? And we'll just,
The song's called Sailor Moon.
Okay.
And it's just
like
taken
the
from
cartoon.
Yeah, yeah. I
Sweet.
thought that would be really good for the algorithm. I was like,
smart, dude.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just the lyrics. Sometimes I wish I was a sailor. Moon is looking mighty tasteful. So it does say it in the song.
Nice.
Hey,
Two
Janelle,
different verses.
get up on the mic a little bit
Yeah,
more
pull that
when you're
dude up
talking.
a little bit.
So
Sorry.
yeah, that song was written. It was about a girl kind of, but also about the ocean. One of the last songs I wrote when I was living in Hawaii. I was there for 6 years.
So it's about the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, the cold one. She was cold too. Yeah.
Crazy. Did you see the Arizona Memorial when you were over there?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
I
Anyway, go ahead.
stayed
Sorry.
on Big Island the entire time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was supposed to meet this girl one night. We were gonna have dinner, and I went out and bought some expensive ahi, bottle of wine, the works. Even had an Airbnb that I used to work at, so they let me have one of the rooms.
You should just ask him to buy you breakfast
Yeah.
checks. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, so she's supposed to come over that night, and
Sorry.
she completely forgot, actually. So she was on her way home from work. She's like, oh, I totally forgot. I realized later she was not that into me.
I've been there.
I had the bottle of wine, and I had my guitar, and I finished that bottle of wine, and I wrote that song.
We don't know it in the moment, but that's just better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't play. Yeah, it's way better, dude.
Yeah. So it was.
We're saying this here. Brittany's back there.
She's loving it.
She's gonna beat me up, you know. She's
Of course.
Brittany's a trooper, though. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so the song was it's an analogy. It's
Yeah.
about a girl, but it's also about the ocean, and so I kept it in that vein. So the entire time, it's like the end line is saying 60 miles away or even 2, like you're always there, because on Big Island you can't be more than 60 miles away from the ocean physically.
That's pretty
Very
slick.
interesting stuff.
That's something that I feel like only people who live in Hawaii would know.
Yeah,
That's cool, though.
it's fun to tell people that come to visit. 'Cause
How
they're
long
like,
did you
"Whoa."
live in Hawaii?
About 6 years.
And you moved there from here?
Mm-hmm.
From here to there, and then now back, like a year ago when I met you or something like that?
Around there, yeah.
Cool, though. And what about you, Mr. Drummer Man? How long have you lived in Bakersfield?
10 years, almost to the day, a couple weeks ago.
Nice. Nice. Good deal. You like it here?
Loving it. Yeah.
Where'd you come from?
Originally from Riverside.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I lived down there for a few months. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm a girl, you know, she got mad, came back, all that.
Yeah.
What about you, sir?
I've been here since 1999.
Oh, cool. That was the year that the whole world was supposed to end the next year and all that good stuff. You came here
Yeah.
just in time for all that.
Well, I was in Mexico when that happened, but
Yeah.
I went on vacation to Mexico, so I wasn't worried.
Right on, right on. I feel like Mexico's a lot prettier. I mean, I don't know. I never been. I see pictures, you know, postcards and stuff.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, their food's definitely way better over there too.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So let's go into, without going too insane, but after the first song, I like to get a little bit. Well, we did some background, but like musical background. So for you, like how long you been playing guitar? What got you into wanting to play some music? And, you know, when was your first cool live show that you remember? All that kind of stuff that typically people have that kind of make them want to play some rock and roll music and stuff.
Well, I started when I was 12. Got my
Okay.
first guitar after watching the movie Airheads. I was like,
no.
oh, I want a guitar.
Nice.
So my parents got me a guitar and started writing songs right away.
Oh, really?
Yep. So stuck with that for a while, and then ended up going into jazz band in high school. Played bass actually in jazz band because Emil was on guitar.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Couldn't keep up with that, but I just kept writing, doing bass. Did a lot of worship team when I was in church for a while, and yeah.
That's a foundation that a lot of playing in a church. It seems like lay down a good foundation for play. A lot of musicians.
And big bands. You got tons of singers. You got all the instruments covered, so you have to be able to fit into a band setting.
Yeah, not step on people's toes and whatnot.
Yeah, that's where I learned how to play the guitar. Church choir.
Oh yeah, right on. A lot of people start though. It's cool. I mean, it makes sense though. You know, get to play like consistently. It's a band, always right there. You know, what I mean? All the time. What about you, sir? What got you into the rock and roll, or just music, I guess, in general?
Music in general, I mean, the school route, right? So I had an older brother who was a drummer. I started on sax, and then through high school sort of taught myself drums with his kit, which he was really upset about because I'd constantly be breaking heads and sticks and cymbals sometimes. And then I also picked up some guitar around that time. So yeah, play a little bit of everything these days.
What were you listening to around then when you're in your years of getting into music and all that kind of stuff, besides what your school band was doing?
My brother was super into Tool, so he got me into that, and then sort of like in high school branching out, got really into Queens of the Stone Age. First show I ever went to was a Mars Volta opening for a Perfect Circle. And I had some buddies that were sort of like in that ska punk scene that was big at the time. And they were just amazing. So I would go see them at near Riverside in Corona. There was this like old punk venue called the Showcase Theater. So in high school, would go there all the time and see a bunch of high school bands, bigger bands come through.
Did you ever watch Operation I? Well, I don't even know if they're still playing with it. I'm sure you listened to Op Ivy a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
of course. A lot of people did in high school. Okay. What about you? What were you into when did you start playing all that stuff? And what made you pick up was your first instrument bass or guitar? Or?
My first instrument was guitar. And I was playing in the church choir, and then I used to listen to Spanish rock.
Sweet.
So that's where I started listening to, and I used to play in the early 2000s in a Spanish rock band here in Bakersfield.
That's cool. When
there was like a Spanish rock scene.
Dude, I had a buddy he's this Mexican dude. I worked at this company called Teltec, and I was getting into. I watched Breaking Bad for the first time like in 2018. I was like way behind, and so that mariachi band, and I was like, that's awesome. And then he got me into I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but corridos or whatever. It's like basically it's gangster music, and it's like it's like cowboy songs, but now, and they're not like messing around. Like it's gnarly stuff, those guys. But they're all like really good singers and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool, you know. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
did you listen to any of that stuff?
Yeah, that's how I grew up with.
How do you say it?
Corridos.
Corridos. Okay, yeah. And then it's like similar to mariachi, but not the same, right? Am I correct on that?
No, it's very different.
Completely different. See,
Yeah.
shows how much I know.
It's
about
more like it's an accordion, and now they play the 12-string guitar like an accordion.
it. Yeah, the mariachi's accordion or the corridos has accordion.
Corrido has accordion,
Ah, that's
Yeah.
a okay.
and now they switched. Now they play the 12-string guitar like an accordion.
Oh, and in place of the accordion?
Yeah, in place of the
Okay, I did
accordion.
not know that. I had no idea. Those guys are good musicians. They always got like everybody's good at whatever. Some of those things look like guitars, but they're not. You know what I mean? I don't even know what they are, but I just know they're good. One time I went to a buddy's, I think his cousin had a quinceañera or something. I just remember there was tons of food in the mariachi, and I was like, "This is pretty cool." Yeah,
Good
proud to
party.
be.
Yeah.
it was legit. It was fun. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the Spanish style music really inspired me because my life changed when I first heard Sublime.
Yeah, they got a little bit. No,
Before that, I was listening to a lot of country, the older stuff, especially like with the alternating bass.
Yeah, they have the same thing going on.
Yeah, and then so I started getting into the ska, which is like the up pick.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so when I finally started getting like to the Latin style music, I started getting that
Miners. Yeah. That's like
yeah,
nice.
that Latin style stuff. When you mix it with all those together,
It's cool.
you get something special.
It sounds good for sure.
Yeah.
Right on. What about your guys' contribution to the band as far as like obviously Janelle sings, writes lyrics. And if I understand correctly, I remember when Janelle was looking for a band, I was like, dude, I'd jam with you, but I can't do it, and he was hustling, running around, playing a bunch of shows. How about we go where you just tell us a little bit about how you met Janelle and why you decided to start playing with Janelle, and then we'll go to you next and kind of get a little bit of context with how you guys met and started jamming together.
Yeah, I met Janelle at a local brewery. He was playing, and
Second phase.
can we say second phase?
Oh yeah. You can say whatever you want.
Oh yeah, I met him at second phase, and I really liked the fact that I could understand what he was saying.
Oh, cool.
And so he enunciates really well, and I like the melody. It was very catchy. So when he finished his set, I was like, oh, I like how the songs that you play, and I kind of the lyric that stuck to me was like one of his songs where he says, "Open your ears and shut your mouth."
Yeah.
So that stuck to me, and I was
Cool.
like, oh, that sounds cool. Like you have to let people, you have to let people talk so you can listen to them.
Sure.
And he's like, oh, you play an instrument? And I was like, I kind of play the bass. I mostly play the guitar, and then that's how.
Nice.
Yeah, but I kind of like how I don't really play that bass that well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're doing good. You weren't very serious about the bass until you started playing with Janelle. That's when you kind of took it more seriously.
I
or-
mean, I did some recordings at home. Like when I record my own music, I put the bass.
Yeah.
But not in the setting where like somebody tells me like what to play.
Yeah. And not like probably not live either, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he had said, he was like, I can play guitar or bass. He's like, whichever you need. I'm like, well, I need both, but bass is more important right now.
Yeah.
Can't
Bass
do
is hard
anything
to
without a
find.
bass player.
Bass is hard to find. And you guys sound good as a three-piece. It sounded great. Are you working on another guitarist maybe? You think you'd briefly talk
Yeah,
about seeing what's
definitely
going
looking
on?
for another guitarist to be able to do rhythm and lead parts. Because in the recordings, there's a lot of lead parts that happen during the verses, during my singing,
Yeah.
just little harmony things.
Yeah.
I can't really do that while I'm
So you hear that, folks who
sing.
watch this episode. Janelle needs a lead player. He'll hold
lead
auditions.
and rhythm. Because
Lead
I'll
and
take
rhythm.
the main solos, but there's plenty more to be played.
There you go.
Yeah. And then I already played with Eddie in a band. So
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah,
What band are you guys in?
it's
Other
a
band.
Spanish rock band, Once Muertos.
Oh, sweet. Where do you guys play at? You play Rock and Wings and stuff? I played over there for a little while.
We haven't really played live.
We haven't done a show for
haven't-
years.
yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's like that's more of a past thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We
Cool.
play in Eddie's garage sometimes.
Yeah.
I play bass with him.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you guys got any recordings or?
Yeah, we recorded like a 3-song like demo thing.
Yeah.
That's up on streaming and stuff. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
You have to text me the name. I want to check
for
it
sure.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always curious if I knew local
Yeah.
bands around here and stuff.
So I told him about Janelle, and that's
That's how it goes.
that's how it goes.
That's the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's like, oh, we can jam. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we jammed one time, played through some songs. He's like, all right.
Yeah. You guys
I'll
played
do it.
good. You guys played good together. What about you, sir? How'd you? You met Janelle. He kind of explained it because you already knew him in a past band.
Well, yeah, I met Jose first. I met Jose a while back. So Jose and his buddy Elio, already had the Spanish rock thing going.
Right.
I happened to just go down to Sandrini's. Well, this was years ago.
Yeah.
I had like just signed on a new building for my office for the work that I do. So I came down to Sandrini's to just like celebrate with a little tequila, and
Chill out and have some alcoholic beverages.
Yeah. And I overheard these guys talking about a bunch of Spanish rock bands that I love. So I
that's
just
cool.
started talking to them, and I started playing with them on drums, and yeah, so we've been playing together for a while. It's kind of a mix of just different projects and things like that. So they have the songs that they write. I think occasionally they help me with the songs that I write for my main band also.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah, good little collection we got going.
That's pretty cool. Now, the Spanish rock, is that like a, I hear like traditional Spanish music like corridos or mariachi. It's got like a different groove to it than like regular pop music. It's toom, pop, toom. You know what I mean? Like a rock and pop music's just that straight. Is Spanish rock like that, just that they're literally singing in the Spanish language? Or is it they have like this Latin stuff intertwined in it, like you think of like a traditional Latin band? And I'm really ignorant with this stuff, I'm just trying to figure it out. Like,
and I love
part of why I do
talking
the
about
podcast is because I like
Yeah.
to learn stuff too. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah, I love talking about it. I mean, it's Spanish. I mean, rock in the Spanish language has its own rich history. I think probably the bands that I
Richie Valens.
well
right?
in the U.S. but also in Latin America. So
Really?
there's some big bands starting from like the 70s, 80s that have their own sound. In South America, Argentina has a rich like rock and roll history. Chile has a rich rock and roll history.
Do you have like recordings of these on your phone, like their albums on Spotify or something like that?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to text me a few. of
Oh,
these.
for sure.
Yeah. That's an area.
I have a whole playlist I could send you with stuff.
I would love that. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool because I mean, some of these bands, the band that I think I overheard them talking about is called Caifanes. They're like kind of in my head, they're the mix of like U2, Led Zeppelin, and The Cure, but
Really?
from like Mexico City. So
Did they sing in the Spanish language?
In Spanish, yeah.
Crazy.
So they started out kind of like looking like The Cure and doing that kind of
Oh, really?
80s thing, and then they evolved really quickly into incorporating more like kind of mariachi sounds, traditional sounds. They had an album produced by one of the guys from King Crimson, Adrian Belew.
Really?
And one of my favorites. These guys are incredible. So,
Wow.
very unique sounds that you wouldn't get from a rock band.
Yeah,
in the
that's
US.
kind of what I'm curious as to how that.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to check that out.
I'll send you a playlist.
Yeah, for sure.
Huh.
And then, that's probably. I have not met anybody that listens to Spanish rock, at least not been on this podcast. I mean, I'm sure I've met somebody that does. You know what I mean? I know you Ted, you did too, obviously. But and then Janal. So you guys grew up kind of listening to the same or similar-ish stuff maybe grow up, but like how you met pre-Janal, like that was kind of, you guys were into the Spanish rock and roll kind of thing, right?
And not until I got here, actually, I was more listening to grunge and alt rock and metal and stuff in high school.
Oh, before you moved to Bakersfield?
Before I moved to Bakersfield.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
grunge is like Nirvana and that kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and like, did you dig deep into like Green River, or if you want to consider that digging deep and all that kind of stuff? Or
I digged medium, I think.
dig medium, yeah, makes sense.
You gotta dig into Mad Season. That's where it's at.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're a great band. I like that record they put out. And what about you, Janal? Like music, you were that made you want to get going. We talked about the guitar a little bit. Like, what were you listening to? We're in the first year-ish or so, I guess you could say, when you started playing guitar.
So a lot of White Stripes at the time. So the thing is, like, we were at a certain age, we were not allowed to listen to anything that wasn't Christian music.
Yeah.
And back then there wasn't like much Christian rock.
No, and
not
if
like it
there
is now.
was, it was not good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I had my guitar and I was just learning, stuff that we were allowed to listen to, like White Stripes, Salvation Army, stuff like that. But then we moved out to Woody we used to live out in Maricopa.
Oh, nice.
We moved out to Woody, so that's when I started going to North High. And on the way there, I heard All Apologies on the radio.
Oh,
And
really?
My life changed. Like, what is this? And I was like, that's this Nirvana.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I've never heard anything like it.
Yeah.
And then just after that, like, everything changed. I started digging deep. I wasn't even really allowed to listen to some of this stuff, but I was,
Yeah. Well, you can find that once you hear them once.
Yeah, exactly. But it went from that to just all the 90s. I started getting into a lot of stuff. Marcy Playground, one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
I think they're severely underrated.
Yeah.
And then once I got to Sublime, I pretty much dropped everything, and I was just all Sublime.
Yeah. That influenced you heavily in your playing?
Yeah, definitely. That's where I learned the uppick stuff. I do a lot of uppick stuff, especially on the second album, which is, a few years out right now. But, that one's got a lot of the influence and more of the Latin ska. I don't really know what to call it, actually.
Yeah,
But
I'm kind of a little bit of both, maybe.
you need to get some horns. Got a little bit of trumpet on that one, actually. But, yeah, that was life-changing, but I've always been stuck in the 90s.
Cool.
And then got into the Pixies. saw Fight Club for the first time.
Oh, nice.
That changed my life just as a movie. But the last song in there, I played it over and over again. I was like, "What is this?" So I bought 2 albums, and was absolutely obsessed with their songwriting, the way the band is.
Yeah.
Everybody plays their part so well in that band.
Yeah. I remember
without
I
any
remember
one
when I
of
first
them.
heard them. The Pixies. My buddy got me into the Pixies, and I thought it was like so weird but intriguing the first time I heard them.
Godfathers of Indie.
Yeah, they're super good. Well, let's do a second song, and then we'll talk about some other. What's the first? Tell us the name of the song too. Alan, why were you laughing? Were you laughing? Oh, I thought Alan was laughing at me. Oh, it was you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm the one that laughs.
I thought I did something wrong, and Alan was making fun of me back there or
I think
something.
in our recordings I laugh, huh?
Yeah, it's all good. You're allowed to laugh. We're allowed to laugh. What's the name of this tune?
This song's called Superman, spelled like soup. Superman.
So it's about
So I get sued.
about like
Split Pete.
Exactly.
it's either about the superhero or like I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
It's like about like the superhero within all of us, but that we all fall short. You know what I'm saying? Like we're held to this standard as human beings. You know, and from people in our lives.
Yeah.
And at a certain age, when you're growing up and you lose your innocence, you're no longer that innocent child.
Right.
And yeah, this song's kind of about that and living up to the standards of society.
Hit it. Sweet.
Superman is getting drunk and getting crunk on the dance floor. If your mother could see you now, what would she think? She'd be appalled. Kryptonite has lost its touch, time to find something brand new. The green is really getting to me, I think I like something blue. Think I like something blue, 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 Superman ain't getting old, but Lois Lane ages like a dog. So what are you getting at? I'm just saying some people can't see through the fog. Even a man as strong as he might be inclined to skip a beat. But while he's at it, I don't know, he might like to try something sweet. I'd like to try something sweet. Come on and be daddy's little freak. 'Cause I've been up the creek so long. Come on and show me how to plant a tree. How to ride a seesaw. Hold my hand while we walk down the streets, so that I don't get lost. I thought that I could be divine, shine with darkness in my mind. Why haven't I 7 minds? Why haven't I cut myself loose? Why haven't I 7 minds? Why haven't I cut myself loose?
That was another good song. It was a catchy solo too. Thank you. Yeah. So let's talk about your guys' like writing or putting together song process, if you will. We briefly chatted about it before, but you had like a catalog of songs going. We kind of almost got into it before, but I get distracted, so whenever it happens. You had some songs cataloged, recorded, and you were playing live solo.
Yeah.
And I saw you at Festa member solo, and every time other time I think you were playing, I had a gig on my own, so I didn't catch a lot. I saw him at that one time, and these guys are just kind of coming in for right now and more or less trying to get it together with you so you can have a band to have a set.
Yes.
And then how are they doing their own inflections, I guess you could say, or are they adding to it in that way, or like because sometimes, you know, when you get new musicians, and sometimes it's like, hey guys, you just got to get this down, and then when we move along here, we'll be writing together more in the future. Sometimes it doesn't go that way. Sometimes it's just one dude that's just kind of like pretty much has the songs, and the dudes back him up. So I'm just kind of curious, like, how do you guys function like that? You know, there's not really a wrong answer here. I just like to find all the different ways bands do things, you know. How would you say that goes?
Well, I mean, all this, I have so many songs, and I've been recording for many years. And so I never knew really what I was going to do with it. I wanted to make music, wanted to have a band, but you know, it's just hard to get that going.
It's always hard.
But I never stopped writing and recording. I went to school for recording in Santa Maria, and then went straight from Santa Maria to Hawaii, where I was working in studios as an assistant engineer, and then the last job I got was as the main engineer.
Cool.
So I got a lot of experience that way recording, and just spent all those 6 years just honing my craft, recording, songwriting, all that. Actually, that song we just played is the oldest song we played tonight.
Oh, cool.
I think I was 17 or 18 when I wrote that one.
And that's called Superman but like soup, like eating miso soup or something.
Just so we don't get sued, you know.
Exactly, of course.
I don't know if that's trademark still, public domain maybe. But
I mean, somebody's got to. People like suing, you know, it's like their hobbies.
Yeah. So because everything's already completed, and honestly, I have up to 3 albums in the future mapped out already that are already recorded. Just need some final touches. So you know, when I started working with the guys, I just sent them mixes of the tracks, and you know, I was like, well, get these down. And the most important thing is, you know, the structure. That's really the only thing that matters. You know, he's hitting the root notes, and Eddie's, you know, keeping the rhythm. Other than that, like, it honestly changes each show, really. I mean, a little bit. You know, I think that's with any band, honestly. But there'll be some times when Eddie does a little thing when we're playing live, I'm like, ooh, that was really cool. I've never done that before.
Like a fill or something.
Yeah, little stuff. But yeah,
the joy of playing with other minds is sometimes things change for the better, you know.
Because we have a lot of the same groups that we like, songs that we like, it's not that far, you know, removed from each other. So
that's okay.
That really helps because, you know,
they basically dug the music obviously before they were playing with you, so that kind of made it more of a natural gel. Yeah. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, and Janelle's really not like I mean, he knows what he wants, and he knows how he wants it to sound.
Right.
But I feel like I have a lot of freedom to like.
That's cool.
Like,
I figured Janelle was a complete jerk and like a Nazi. I'm just kidding. You're like the exact opposite of that, man. No.
I mean, my main thing is I'm like, as long as you guys are having fun, like
that's the key. Yeah, no, they
got
got
having fun, and you know, it's like a chore to go out and play a show because
somebody's got to lead. But you know, if the dudes that are the backup, if you will, are digging what's going on, you know what I mean, and they're having fun. That's the keys. You got to dig it. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it for sure.
Yeah, but he's a good leader.
That's good.
It's always booking shows.
He's always hustling. That's the thing. It's always hustling. Yeah.
After a while, the shows start to book themselves. Actually,
they do. Yeah, I noticed that. Well, I mean, you know, in Bakersfield, it's kind of everybody. You play a few places, and kind of everybody knows, but not everybody. You know what I mean? A fair amount of people will know who you are or want to rebook you and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe they'll book us from the podcast.
Maybe post it. Start a YouTube channel. So what Alan will do too is. If you haven't watched already, there'll be like the full episode on YouTube, like hour and a half long, whatever. And then he breaks out each song. And so I've been telling people this, when you guys start a YouTube channel, take the individual broken out songs, and there's 4 songs right there to start YouTube with cool looking environment and decent sound quality and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You know? And then I guess YouTube's like what you're supposed to do. And I hate YouTube. I don't like being on the phones anyway. So I don't want to deal with that. But, so in the future, look, for the time being, for the next couple more albums at least, you guys plan on just getting the songs more kind of dialed in, getting the new songs that are not, you know, you're not playing live or whatever, dialed in, doing another record, doing that a couple more times. And then as far as writing goes from there, I mean, you're probably not the kind of guy that's ever shorthanded like material, but you guys, do you ever have plan on like let's just jump in the room for an hour or two today and just hit a riff and see what happens? You ever think about doing that in the future?
I do. When we jam, sometimes Jose likes to put down these really sick bass lines just randomly, and we all just start jamming them. I record a lot of them. I'm like,
that's good.
I mean, a good bass line is
so like
start to a song. So
there could be like a bit of a round album, and this is a cool way to do it too, because you guys can have like, you know, he's got all this material. You guys already dig the sound, so you roughly know what to expect, and then you kind of learn how to gel together and build some chemistry and kind of learn how each other thinks a little bit. Now you start jamming, you're already kind of doing that some. So we'll say right now, hypothetically, right when album 4 comes out, you guys will have some mojo built up and be able to maybe compose or something, whatever you want to call it, really well together. I'm guessing. No, it seems like.
Yeah, you gotta vibe together.
I've never been in a band that had that much material before the band started. So it's like, I always just I'd always have something going on, jamming, or riffs or whatever, and then, so there'd be like 4 or 5, but I've never had like 3 albums worth of material. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, since Eddie and I have been playing, I think that's always been like important. Like if, like with the person that you're playing or the people that you're playing, you jam or you kind of feel the vibration and you vibrate to the same. Like,
yeah.
To me, that's important. Like I wouldn't have played with him if I wouldn't have.
Yeah, we want to have that natural chemistry,
Yeah.
and you want to be able to hang out together as buddies, but you want to have that natural musical chemistry where you can vibe off each other and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I think Eddie feels the same way. Like you have to be able to because jamming with somebody says a lot about them.
Sure.
You know? Like, and Janelle's such a good soul. So
yeah, totally. I completely agree with you, man. I completely agree with you. And was it like that in your guys' past with jamming together? Lots of free jams before something comes together as an actual song, or is that kind of what you guys would do in the past?
I think so. I mean, with that group, it's essentially like Jose and Elio working together on material, and then like having me come in and maybe try different beats, try different rhythms, and see like how the feel of the song might change, which is always interesting. It's a little different with Midnight Dorsett, obviously, where the song's already so like well established and like solid. So a lot of the times with this group, it's more so just like making like the tiniest little changes in the beat or in the fill so that it just sounds tighter. So really I think that the most fun for me is playing with the group live and then coming across like feeling like the song just is the best version that it is, like nice and solid.
Sure. Yeah. You guys you guys are all really wanting to play to the songs though too and accentuate. That's another good thing about it. It sounds like you guys are, not to sound cheesy, but it's true, like you're being team players and like you're helping things to be accentuated when it needs to be accentuated, and you're making it tight. I heard you guys live once, and it was awesome. I dug it. And so apparently, and if it's going to be tight, and you guys are like, basically for now backing up or learning the songs that he has written, that means you're doing that well, right? As far as like, not wanting to showboat or too much or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes that doesn't fit the song.
Because I liked his music.
Right. So why? So why step all over it with bass solos? There's no point, right?
Well, I mean, that's a good bass player, though.
Yeah.
Know when to be in the pocket and when to
anybody
have fun.
Yeah, totally.
But I mean, guitar players are the same way. I've jammed with guitar players that were just soloing over everything. I'm like,
I know, they're the worst at
some
that.
rhythm.
They're the worst at that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. We already did 2 songs, but it's okay. We got more to talk about. I'm gonna change gears a little bit. I asked this question in a similar way, but same concept, pretty much every podcast episode. But it would be a lot easier for you guys just to stay in your garages or your bedrooms and tinker with musical instruments. It wouldn't take as much time out of your day or away from your families, assuming you guys got one. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys are, well, you're married because I'm
married and have an 8-year-old.
Got an 8-year-old. So you got a family. Do you got wife and kids, girlfriend, anything like that?
Girlfriend, couple dogs.
So you guys got lives. You obviously he has a girlfriend, and because she's back there.
Girlfriend.
She's
4
knitting
dogs.
right now.
2 cats.
What are you making, Brittany? It's
Beanie.
a beanie. It's cold, so she's making a beanie. Yeah, that's cool. Brittany's always making something, always knitting things. But
It's like a yarmulke for a second.
like being in a band is a huge pain in the ass, right? Even when you love it. Like there's always days where you don't feel like showing up, but you do it anyway. You don't regret it because you love playing music, all that kind of stuff. Like some days you're just tired, maybe, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And as far as like time goes, like it's a lot more complicated. Like working a day job and having these relationships with your family and people and whatnot. Finding the time to jam, and it doesn't get any easier when you're older. When you're in high school and you're in your early 20s and you have nothing going on and nothing to lose other than maybe some job you hate that you only work like 25 hours a week at anyway. It's a lot easier just to to do it. So I guess we'll start with Janelle, or you guys can answer it as like a hodgepodge or individually and as a hodgepodge. Actually, I like that. I haven't done like that yet. Start with Janelle, go around, but why do you guys do it seriously? Like, why do you seriously like to write songs, both from like lyrical and artistic standpoint, and like, you know, or why don't you just write poetry in your bedroom on a notepad and leave it be? You know, why are you doing it like this? Why do you want to hustle to play gigs? Why do you want to go out and rehearse together, make records, come on this podcast, all these things that kind of elevate it to a little bit different level of seriousness than just playing at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
What about you first? And there's no wrong answers. I ask, everybody's got like similar answers, but a little bit different. And I always wonder, like, you know, we think of all these big sign bands or whatever, and it's like, well, obviously why they're playing. They made money at it. And I'm sure they loved it at first, and there's all that. But you know, when you make money and you get to keep playing like a lot, you know what I mean? It's tougher, I feel like, to do it in the long haul when you're, you know, not super popular or something like that. You know, but.
Well, the money is definitely a plus, the cherry on top.
If you make money playing
Yeah,
yourself,
if you make money playing.
Sure.
I mean, I know that I started by going to open mics. I don't even know when that would have been, but open mics were the first time I ever played live, and I loved it. I was like, oh, this is nice. This is amazing. And then when I was all throughout high school, I would take my guitar to school every day.
Yeah.
And literally every single day, I would have my guitar there, and my friend James would bring his, and we would just jam all day.
Yeah.
And then after school, and when I lived in Paso Robles for a while, I would go out and spend my evenings playing in front of bars, playing in front of theaters. I'd find the best spots where the big crowds are at.
Busking.
And that's one way that I learned how to not care what people thought. And I would belt it. I would, you know, try covers. I'd butcher some covers, play my originals. And sometimes I'd make money. I made the most. One guy gave me $200 one time. I had a big old hole in my guitar because I ran into a tree with it. And this guy was like, man.
On your feet or on a motorcycle, or how did this work?
I was walking through the woods with it. That's a whole different story there.
Okay.
But yeah, this guy comes out of Denny's, you know, full cowboy get up. And
oh, wow.
That was at the Mid-State Fair in Paso Robles.
Yeah.
And he comes out, he's like, hey, play me a song. And I play him a song, and my guitar had like no tone because, you know, big old hole. And then he's like, that's really good. And he's like, you're good. Here's $200. Get a new guitar. And then he's like, wait, play a song for my friends. And he whistles, and this limousine pulls up.
Dang.
He opens it up, and, you know, they're in the back partying. They weren't even hungry, apparently. And I play him another song, and then they threw me another $50. So
dang.
I was like, nice.
What a nice cowboy. That's what happens in Paso Robles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not spend it on a new guitar. But
No.
I was young and dumb, you know.
No. What were you doing in the forest? You don't have to go super. That's a kind of an offshoot. We just run around for fun of it. I mean, I've done that before.
Well, I was a street kid for a few years. I was living in the riverbed.
Vagabond? Living in the river. So the Bakersfield Kern River riverbed.
No, the Paso Robles, Salinas River.
Oh, that one. How is it living in that river? I've never lived in any rivers.
Not bad, honestly. Get a nice tent.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's not so good anymore. I mean, now they're running everybody out. But
Yeah.
I was just a very curious state of my life. Just fresh out of high school, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was not college material.
Yeah.
I went to community college for recording, but that was a few years later.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And decided to find that out.
Live in a river.
Yeah, I met some friends that had a tent down there, and I was like,
I think I should have done
Spitfire
that.
and Karma.
Yeah, I think I should have lived in some couple rivers before. I mean, I can't now. I got a child, so you know it's kind of not a thing I'm gonna
You
do.
could live in a van by the river.
That's gonna be when she moves out. That's what I'm aspiring to. She could get 18, you're gone. Now I got a van. Break it in the riverbed, and that will stay there.
I mean, that used to be a bad thing, but nowadays that's actually a good thing.
No, dude,
Like,
I don't want to fool with all this crap that's going on. I'd rather just have a van. You know what I mean? A broken one, so we don't have to do maintenance. But
yeah, gotta do maintenance.
no, but I'm seriously though. I mean, there's something simple about it. It'd be cool to do that. But
But yeah, so
you play though. You know, you're doing all this because apparently you're passionate about it.
very.
You know, we know that much. Would you say writing lyrics, and why not just play guitar? Like, are you singing because is it cathartic to sing about about subjects that you find emotionally affect you, and that kind of thing? Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much like when I write my lyrics. It's pretty much just the things that I see around me. Like I had a conversation with a friend with a song called "Pigeon on Fire," because he was
we both have songs about birds. Anyway, go
exactly.
ahead. Yeah.
He was going through a breakup, and he was like, "Man, she was my phoenix," and I'm like, "Yeah, but she turned out to be more like a pigeon on fire." And I was like, "Well, that's really good." So I started writing it down.
Yeah.
And then we talked for days, like every day, and we were just it's stuff he would say. He didn't know what I was doing, and I was writing all this down. And I wrote this song, and like every part like is directly connected to something we were talking about.
Really?
About this girl that broke his heart. And so I have this whole song written about like his breakup, not even mine.
Right. So you
Didn't
always
affect
have like
me
an
at all,
open
you know?
mind to like grabbing something that's gonna make a good song.
Exactly.
That's cool, man. super sick. What about you rhythm section guys? Whoever wants to go first can go first. Why are you playing? I mean, I know you like Janal's music. You think he's a good dude, which is first and foremost. But you played music before Janal, a little bit in your room or whatever. However, played some guitar.
I used to play like
in bands.
In a band. Yeah.
So like, why do you like doing it? Why go out in a band and gig when you can just sit at home? It's easier. You can eat potato chips, just chill.
It's, the connection.
People.
Yeah, it's the energy you feel.
Yeah,
it's a different energy than if you're in your room and just writing.
Totally.
And when you're playing live, it's a different energy, and you know that what you're doing it's making a difference. Like, I perform because I know people are gonna go have a good time.
Yeah,
I don't really care. Like, I mean, when I was younger, I used to care, like, take it more seriously about, like, oh, we have to get paid, and how much are they gonna pay us and things like that.
yeah.
But now, like, it's just like how much people can you reach?
Yeah. You just like sharing.
Yeah,
you share. Yeah,
like sharing.
It's cool. Yeah, that's super cool. And then would you say it's similar for you for the couple guys or
similar? I think. I mean, that's a really good question. I like that question. I think it's important. It's also important for, like, musicians that might get tired, get discouraged. Like, why am I even doing this?
Exactly.
I think all of us have probably played a show where it's
fair
like
question too. Why because there's nothing wrong with staying in your room either, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
so like that's why I always ask.
It's easier than playing a bar with two people in
totally,
it.
Totally. Yeah.
Which I think we've all done at some point. But
I do it all the time, like every week. Constantly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a few things. Part of it is a social thing, right? It's like you connect with people in a different way than you otherwise would. Like when I play with a new musician, like starting from scratch, you can tell right away if you're going to be friends or not, just based off of like how they pick up off of what you're doing. And then also just like, you see a lot of, folks growing up, like older folks that don't have like some other way of some like outlet, some social, activity or anything like that. It's like, what else would you be doing if not like hanging out with other musicians and sharing and craft? And then just, I guess the last thing is like, so it's really a balance thing, right? Like, I know my line of work is very intense and can be pretty stressful. So like having a balance where like I can talk about things that are personal to me, like use it as a form of journaling when I'm writing my own songs, or just to zone out when I'm playing with someone else's music.
When you're journaling, is it or when you're writing like journaling or using it as a form, is you find it cathartic, like help process stressful things or whatever? Like I do, I know that. That's
Yeah, it's cleansing. It's cleansing.
Yeah, that's why my wife lets me do it.
She's like, you're in a bad mood. Go play music. Get out of here. Yeah.
No, he's right. It's a really good outlet. And like, when I'm working and I tell kids that are looking to buy a new guitar, I'm like, yeah, dude, you need this kind of outlet, especially nowadays. Like when I was learning, when I was 12, they barely had dial-up internet at the time. Yeah. And you had to have, certain things to even, get it. It wasn't as accessible. So I had two choices, like play guitar or go outside and play in the dirt. Yeah. And that was it. Yeah. Like, we were still getting DVDs from Netflix back then. Yeah. Which was actually kind of cool. Like that was like a big thing. I was like, oh my gosh. But when I got my guitar, that's all I wanted to do. Yeah. And basically like playing live, like it's a feeling you get when you're up there on stage. It is amazing.
Or over in a corner, depending on what venue we're playing at.
Exactly. I mean, and then in the other sense though, if you're on stage and you're like totally bombing, that feeling's pretty bad. You're like, oh man,
but it's good for you.
Why
do
I do this?
I played so many horrible shows. It's good for you. It helps you get.
It is.
Like, I don't know. I feel like for me, is it like this for you guys? So if I'm in my room playing, and you screw up a song, I was like, well, whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe you not even retry it. You just, well, okay, next one, or I'm gonna go eat crackers or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But like when you're on this stage or in the corner or whatever, and you're supposed to be making people entertained with plucking strings and making noises with your mouth at the same time, and you screw up a song, it's horrifying. You know what I mean? Depending on how bad you bomb it, you know what I mean? It's extremely embarrassing. But I find that it helped me, like, for one, it helped me figure out how, if I actually want to do this, because you could always quit in the middle of playing music live, right? If I want to continue to do this, or if I wanted to do it in the first place, and also too, like where to get better. And usually, like, I know with singing, it's usually in my head. Like if you're in your head, you're stressed and you don't sing good when everything's all tense and all that. But anyway, it helped me realize, figure out if I wanted to do it for real or not, or continue to do it for real or not. You know what I mean? Rather than, because I messed up a whole bunch of shows in a row because I didn't know how to sing a couple of years ago, and I still technically don't really know how to sing very good. But I have fun doing it, and it's getting better. But had I quit which there would have been nothing wrong with that, then that would have been it. I wouldn't have been like serious about it. But I feel like it's hard to figure out if you're going to be serious without going out and botching up some shows every once in a while and figuring out, you know what I mean? Figuring out how to get better, what you got to do to get the song better or execute it better, whatever, I mean, for me, singing's brand new. I've been playing guitar for a long time, but I didn't sing. And so like, it was almost like starting all over again. I had forgotten those lessons that I learned when I was a kid in high school, starting guitar. I hadn't played in an extremely embarrassing show in a very long time by the time I started singing, which is just like maybe 3 years ago, more like now, you know what I mean? But like, so like, had all this experience on guitar, started singing, and just booked a whole crap load of shows. I think I screwed up like 100 shows in a row, probably. I mean, they weren't like all, I'm sure, not as bad as I think they were, but some of them were worse than I think they were, And it just helped me realize if I wanted to stick with the singing thing or not. Do you guys find that like a way to like hone your skills or sharpen the
for sure,
sharpen the tools?
I've had some really bad bombs on stage, and each time I'm like, well, okay, now I know what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I had when I was playing in church, I had a string break one time, guitar string, and then it threw the entire guitar out of tune. What happened? And then so I was like, didn't know what to do. I'm like, in tune, and I don't got a string though, so there's a piano right there. So I was like, I just turned the piano on, I started playing kind of chords, and I just made it work.
That's awesome. You actually did that?
Yeah,
that's cool.
I didn't have any choice. There's like 100 people in there just looking at me. Oh my gosh,
that's legit though.
There's been times when I literally start playing a song in the wrong key and don't realize till I get to the chorus.
Yeah,
that I can't sing this. It's too high. Oh my gosh.
I've done that a ton. So when I play the solo gigs, I have my acoustic tuned down a full step. So, and most of my songs I'm doing now are not a full step down, but when I started there was a few, but some are a half step down, some are in standard.
We're half step down.
Yeah, I go like second fret for standard, first fret for half step down when the guitar is a full step down, right? So there's been many times where I'll play a song that's in standard with the capo on the second fret, and I'll go into another song that's supposed to be a half step down, which is a big deal if you get high enough in your range, especially when you're going above your vocal break. And then I won't tune it back down, but I won't tune it back down. True. And I'm playing the dang thing in standard, and then you go and choke, and it sounds like you're trying to swallow a frog or something like that when you sing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, it's singer problems.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird.
And then for getting lyrics, I've they have this song, Mr. Hannah, that I was playing at a show one time, and I just started going into it, and then I realized pretty quick that I was like, I have no idea what the first verse is. Yeah. And then so I was like, okay, think of something, like play the second part and you'll remember it. And then I played the second part, which isn't too long. Yeah. And then after I was done with it, I was like, I have no idea what the first verse is. So I just kept repeating that, and then I don't know if anybody caught on or not.
Happens to me.
Just like, that's a very repetitive song you're playing.
Those songs that there's songs that I have like where the verses, the first or second verse or whatever, is like second nature. Like I could just recite it anytime. It's on the tip of my tongue if I want it to be. And then I've had times where I just blank out on that. Yeah. And when you know a song that good and you blank out, like you're not getting that. You have to like listen to it for a second. You know what I mean? So I've had that where I've just dropped the whole it's some song where the lyrics, so of course, are really important or something like that. But anyway, good conversation. You guys want to do a third song?
Yeah.
We'll do that. And we'll talk about some other stuff when you're done. Give us the title of this. And actually, we did it last time before the song. Tell us the gist of what this is about, and maybe we'll get into some little deeper if need be next time around.
So this is a song called Pillow Pet.
Pillow Pet. Okay.
Yes. This was actually kind of sort of the sequel to Sailor Moon. It was a song that was written. I was the last girl that I was dating in Hawaii, and then I ended up deciding to move out here, right, and pursue music. And it was still a love song in a sense. It was like just about our relationship, and I realized that we were both in a rebound place in our lives. Yeah. And that we were both looking for something, but more looking for someone to hold us, you know? Yeah. And we knew, I think, from early on that we weren't right for each other. Yeah. But that connection, though, was like, I just need someone to keep me warm at night. Yeah, and so this song is like saying, I just want a pillow for a pet. Yeah. There you go. And it really, on this one, it really went both ways, and we're still good friends. Yeah. But, yeah, we parted ways mutually. Yeah. So that worked out.
And it's you're always looking for. You're a relationshipy writer. It sounds like everything's about human relationships of some kind.
The human condition, the human experience, I guess. There's just such an amazing thing. There's so much there.
Yeah.
And even my love songs that I write they go deeper because I really want to pick the whole thing apart and wonder like why is it like this?
Is that how you're processing this kind of stuff? Maybe.
Yeah.
Putting this on.
That's how I process it.
There you go. Hey, could you scoot your guitar just a smidgen closer before you guys kick off this song? You don't have to be quite that close. There you go. Perfect. Is that okay, Alan? Play some notes. Hit it. Is that okay, Alan? Okay, we're good. Sorry about that, folks. That was my fault, man.
All right.
So yeah, go ahead and hit it. What's the name of the song?
Pillow Pet.
Pillow Pet. That's right. You just said that. My bad. Sorry, guys. Here we go.
Long turn at Bleak Street and Dreary Lane. 3 more lefts and I'll be right back there again. Someday the crumbs on my bed exfoliate my skin, and I can eat them later. I call that a win-win. You could probably think of 20 reasons you should hate me. I can only think of 3 or 4 reasons why you don't. Makes me wonder why on earth you ever picked me. After all your calls, sometimes I just let it ring, ring, ring. Heard you like tripping on your deathbed. Little monkey must have bumped your silly head. I follow every silhouette that I see, 'cause I just want a pillow for a bed. While my mind is right, I find you kinda witchy. If you cast a spell, here's to hoping that you cast it on me. The microwave man living in the country. Your organic, free-range, plant-based pot roast dinner made for 3. Heard you like tripping on your deathbed. Little monkey must have bumped your silly head. Follow every silhouette I see, 'cause I just want a pillow for a bed. Irony in ever having loved me. The epitome of everything you never wanna be. Asleep diagonally when I'm feeling fishy. But when you can't sleep, I hope it's 'cause you're thinking of me. Heard you like tripping on your deathbed. Little monkey must have bumped your silly head. Follow every silhouette that I see, 'cause I just want a pillow for a bed. I just want a pillow for a bed. I just want a pillow for a bed.
That was good. Sounded really good.
Thank you.
That song always stands out. That chorus, super slick.
Yeah.
So we didn't get into this. Well, this is not super duper important, but I know Jadal works at Guitar Center because I saw him today when I was buying some strings, and he told me when he got hired there about a month or so ago.
Yeah,
what do you guys do for a living? If you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to, but we're not going to go super deep, but I'm just curious. What's your day jobs?
I teach 7th and 8th grade math.
Dang. I could not pass your class. I guarantee you that. Where at? All right, well, again, you don't have
Washington Middle School.
I don't even know. What district is that in?
It's the Bakersfield City School District. That's close to BC.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on. Sweet. Boy, I bet teaching 7th or...
7th and 8th.
Oh, those are when everybody's like psychotic. The kids that age are nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Yeah. I mean, hormones and...
they really have an appetite for art.
Really?
Yeah, they love music and they love to draw.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's a good
it's
thing.
just they don't really have they're always cutting down on the arts.
I know, that's what I was gonna say. So like, yeah, man, I don't know how you could. We need to play all ages shows. You can get your kids to go to your shows. That's what you need to do. That would be awesome.
Yeah, because I have a lot of kids that I have like a girl that plays the bass and she plays it really well.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they like really think about starting bands or anything.
Just
like
tell
that.
them, just say, hey, if you can get it all ages, like, no, I don't know. With Jerry's, they're not even all, where does it even all ages now? I don't even know. If there was, you could invite your kids to the show. Their parents would all pay for the tickets, and then you have like built-in fan base. So it's
Yeah.
like, dude, that's the thing. That's
Get
what
'em
you need to
young.
do. Because remember in high school, all your friends would come to your shows, built-in fan base. Or, you know, or if you just didn't have any friends, then you get friends by having them come to your show.
I didn't have friends and I didn't do shows.
I did.
Played in my bedroom.
I did a few shows, but you're in high school, but like not like as a student. Obviously, you could like get all those. That's a good idea, man.
Yeah.
We need to figure that out. We need to get a generator and plug it in somewhere and hook it up in the field. Just have all the kids run out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to run a field when I was young. And look at me now.
Yeah, I know. Right. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, hey, kids, come to the field. Hey,
Yeah.
Mom, my teacher wants me to go to a field in the middle of nowhere and watch a show. Permission slip.
Yeah, permission slipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. Though. I want to see. When I was in high school, I took it for granted at the time, but Jerry's Pizza was cracking off. I'm talking. Some bands were freaking huge. Like AFI played there before. Weezer played there. Buck Cherry, and there's all these punk bands that were, like, for lack of a better, I don't know what word to use, but big for the underground. You know what I mean? And we got to, and it was constant. There would be bands every Friday and Saturday night till like 12, 1 a.m. and it was all ages, and it was amazing. You guys probably remember that if you were going. But for me, it was like, I think I started going there in 2000, 2001 to like, I don't know, going to Jerry's a lot. I think it was dropped off in like 2006 or something like that. But
Yeah, bummer for me because I started high school in 2007.
Yeah,
This is when I started actually getting to
I'm old.
go downtown.
Yeah, I'm an old guy. But I'm not that old. I'm joking. But I'm older than you and blah 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 whatever. But
Yeah.
it would be cool to see kids being able to go out. Like, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have that. You know what I mean? Being able to go to like live shows and stuff in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We need to talk to Bike Bakersfield.
Yeah.
We could all force them to get on bicycles and say we're doing. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good idea. We'll talk to Asha. Bring all his
And
students
then
to Bike Bakersfield.
Put the generator on a truck and
I
they can
know I'm
follow
going
the
on a
truck.
rabbit trail, but this just popped into my head. Super important. We need to harass it. If you call Bike Bakersfield just anonymously and be like, hey, you need to get a music festival going. You know what I mean? Seriously, we'll just put the pressure on them. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I tend to do that sometimes.
Don't worry,
But what do you do for a day job?
Brittany's taking care of it right now. She's got it.
Yeah. Thank you, Brittany. Harass them for us, okay? Cool. What do you do for a day job, sir?
I'm a lawyer.
Oh boy, what kind of lawyer?
Farm worker rights. So I work with the United
dang.
Farm Workers and we do some private cases for farm workers too.
Making sure it's not turning into slavery or whatnot out there. 'cause-
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've actually done some human trafficking cases.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
so-
I worked I was a car salesman for Toyota for only like 6 months. I had to change jobs because there's crap is going on in life, right? The hours are weird as a car salesman,
Yeah.
right? So I couldn't keep doing it. But anyway, in the 6 months that I was there, two dudes that I did not know that they walk there and they're looking for a truck. I'm like, hey, you interested in test drive? You know, doing that whole thing. And then we'd get to just chatting about life or whatever, weather, the football game. And then both of them were fathers and both of them had their daughters abducted into child trafficking. These are two strangers within a 6-month time period that told a stranger car salesman this, you know. So it made me, and this was in 2017. So it made me realize, like, man, how much is that stuff going on? But anyway, that's not music stuff. I'm going all over the place right now. So your job is intense, though.
Oh yeah.
So this has got to be some kind of like opening up the pressure valve for you, kind of.
Oh, for sure.
Like
yeah.
a relief from dealing with that.
Especially, I think playing drums, where like I
You
don't
hit
really have to
things.
think about it and just
Yeah.
get
Just
loud.
count to 4 and smack
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Other than today when I have to play really quiet.
Yeah, exactly. And answer my stupid questions.
He's like physically in pain because of it.
Yeah.
Props to you, man. I could not do your job. That would drive me insane. You probably have to sit behind a desk a lot and stuff too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like just run away if I couldn't do it. I tried doing a desk job one time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not built for it. So before I forget, tell us about all the stuff I hate the most, social media. Like, where can they find you? Do you have a YouTube, Spotify, blah, 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 all that? What's going on with all
No
that?
Spotify yet. Actually, I had my my really early album from when I was 19 on there, but removed it because
Because you were 19 and
it wasn't fully representative of
Yeah.
where the music's at now. And actually, one of the songs on there is getting remixed and put on this first album.
sweet. How many songs been on the first album?
13.
Oh, so it's a LP. It's a full length.
Oh yeah, we were gonna do EP, but then realized that it's actually more expensive to get 2 things mixed than it is and mastered than it is to get 1 long one.
So you're saying you have 3 albums? Are these because you're doing this one right now, but you have 2 more albums worth of material, right? Are these LP like full lengths? Dang,
lengths,
it's a lot of material. That's good.
I mean, altogether, I haven't counted in a while, but in my in the vault, I guess,
Yeah.
hard drives, I have like 10 hard drives.
Dang.
I have at least 100 songs that are either a structure, an idea, or like fully fleshed out.
So you guys aren't hurting for material at all.
No.
That's good. When did you say that was going to come out again? The album, roughly?
I don't know, roughly, definitely this year, but thinking in summertime.
Were you thinking of tracking it at?
It's already been tracked.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. You did it yourself.
Yeah,
Duh.
it's already been tracked.
Or you're gonna have somebody master it. We talked about this.
So it's being mixed by Javi Cruces over in Los Angeles right now, and also in Los Angeles, I got a hold of Howie Weinberg.
And he was who again? You told me the story. I remember.
Well, he's done a lot. You have to look him up. But the way I found him was "Show Your Bones" album by Yeah Yeah Yeahs. One of my favorite mixed albums. It's the whole thing's like based around acoustic guitar, and the acoustic guitar is so prevalent in it. But it's also still a rock album with electric guitar and all the works.
Huh.
But he also did Nirvana's Nevermind album.
Oh, he did. He mixed that one.
Mastered it. Yeah, he's a mastering engineer. So
Gotcha. Huh.
yeah, he's been around the block. He's done a lot of stuff. Smashing Pumpkins, up to like Sheryl Crow. And
Do you know what Pumpkins albums he did? Probably like Gish or something.
It was Gish. It was that one and Siamese Dream.
Oh, the 2 that Butch Vig, I guess he produced.
He might have done Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, but I don't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, seems like a lot of Butch Vig stuff. Maybe they're friends. Who knows?
Sounds like an appropriate guy to master your guys' stuff.
Yeah, I called him up. Found his number. Called him up, and he's like, "Yeah, that's what I do."
That's cool.
Like, all right.
Right on.
So really stoked on that. Canvas Cam is doing the album artwork and logo design for us right now.
He's a good guy for that.
Yeah.
So a lot of shows coming up. Midnight Dorsett on Instagram, right? Is that what it's called?
on Instagram.
You guys got Facebook?
Yeah, there's Facebook. I don't use Facebook a lot anymore. I mostly
Facebook's
run the
horrible.
Instagram. I know.
Nobody should look him up on Facebook. It's a terrible place to be for all this crap. Facebook sucks.
Unless that's all you use, then Facebook's awesome.
And then just go do smoke signals.
But yeah, I know. Carrier pigeon. I'll send you the album that way.
There you go. I'm trying to go back to that. Riverbeds, vans, carrier pigeons, and smoke signals.
I like it.
And
but also, so we're also starting to gain some traction on TikTok. Surprisingly, that's a
tell
hard
me
one to
about
get
that.
into.
I do not do TikTok. The thought of having to have another social media platform makes me feel stressed out, and I don't like it. But so tell us, like, what's been the perceived benefits for you in a rock band in Bakersfield to be on TikTok? Like, you're telling me some cool stuff is happening. But seriously though, what's your experience with it? How's it going?
I don't fully understand TikTok, honestly. Like,
well, nobody does.
I don't get the algorithm. But I have a really good manager, and she's adamant about posting on
She's
everything.
really cool.
She's awesome. You met her.
Yeah.
She's adamant about posting on the stuff that's big. And TikTok is huge.
Yeah.
But it's also a way to get to the younger crowd.
Right.
Because I love Instagram, but I feel like TikTok is what the kids love.
Yeah.
The kids are like, Instagram, that's for old
totally
people.
Is.
And I like Facebook's for old people. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But
I'll say we had to walk in the snow for 4 miles up a mountain to get our Instagram connection when I was a kid because it was
uphill both ways, wasn't it?
Uphill both ways with people shooting at us.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And that was actually MySpace days.
Yeah. I remember MySpace too.
I still can't get into my MySpace account.
I
got some good
deleted mine. I hated social networking from day one. My buddies, I was in a band and they convinced me to get a MySpace. As soon as the band broke up, I went home and deleted it. I was like, screw this shit. I'm done.
I actually have my early experimental phase, like my rap stuff on.
Yeah, I did not
MySpace.
rap, but even if I did rap, I would not have had it on MySpace. I would just would have been done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's terrible. But
Yeah, I think it's either the Mac 10 Daddies or.
what about you guys? You guys have MySpace?
Probably, yeah.
Did you post like My Chemical Romance songs on it and stuff like that?
No, I had a project on MySpace.
Yeah, My Chemical Romance stuff.
No. Like I recorded music and I put it there.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't think you can actually delete your MySpace like fully.
You could back in the day when it was like when I had MySpace, it was white and blue and Tom.
Oh yeah, Tom.
Like it wasn't no like pretty backgrounds or music playing in the background, and it was in 2004, and my buddy I don't know how he knew about it, but I thought, anyway, long story short, that was when that happened. And I got rid of it.
What I liked about MySpace, though, was like you could have your top 5 friends list, and you could let people know when they pissed you off because they
drop them off.
Yeah. Like, you're not on my friends list, and you're my top 5 anymore.
What I liked about it is that you didn't go on it very much like you do nowadays because there was no phone. So
you had to go home to get on it.
Uh-huh.
You're like, I'm going home and getting on MySpace.
Yeah, totally. So you guys got a lot going on. You got an Instagram, you got a TikTok, and that's called Midnight Dorsett too.
Midnight Dorsett.
And let's have a shout out to your manager. What's your manager's name?
Keisha.
That's
Keisha
right.
Leonard.
She told me that. What's her last name?
Leonard.
Leonard. And she is open to managing bands in town or doing their social. Like, what's her deal?
Well, so we're doing that, but we're actually working with Eddie on a thing called The Virtuist.
What's that?
We're starting up a label. We're sort of.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's what it's called. Okay.
Yeah. We're still in the planning phases. We're putting things together, but I mean, with Janal's band, with Midnight Dorsett coming out with an album, I have an album coming out this year also.
And the people starting the label will be you, Keisha, and Janal.
Mainly Keisha and I have been planning this thing out.
When you guys let that crack, and maybe we'll do like a bonus episode or something.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, cool deal. So lots of shows. A record's going to come out soon this year. What? Give me a month, like roughly. Summer, before summer.
Yeah, I'm thinking July. So it's all just going to depend on if everything can get finished mixing and get into mastering. Mastering doesn't take very long.
Yeah.
Mixing does.
Mastering's the
and
umbrella.
so it's all dependent on that. We actually just got the last of the drums recorded. There was 2 songs that needed drums still, and Eddie and I did them in his studio.
Cool.
So yeah, so it's looking like it's going to be a really good album, and as soon as it's done and mixed, it's getting into mastering, and by then Cam should be finished up with all the designs.
Hit up Canvas Can for your extremely sophisticated album covers, flyers, and also this dude back here is pretty good at that stuff too. But okay, cool. So you guys are busy. Follow Midnight Dorsett on Instagram. They're gonna be posting flyers so you guys can know where they're all gonna play and all that good stuff. Add your profile or a page and post your shows because we're gonna eventually get that popping a little bit more.
Yeah, so the profile's on there. I always forget to add
because we don't. There's no algorithm, so the plan is to get that cracking a little bit, and then then people will, like, okay, I want to see what's going on with live music in Bakersfield. They go on the website, blah blah blah. So pop it up there if you don't mind, and tell people about that. You know what I mean? That would help us a little bit too because we're trying to make a good tool for everybody. But
bandsofbakersfield.com, by the way.
Yes. Oh yes. So this is gonna be their last song, and I almost forgot, but I didn't, Alan.
I know he was going into it, and he was talking about it, but then he forgot to actually tell people the name.
And now Alan's getting joy out of it.
Yes, yeah. So it's very easy. Bands of Bakersfield across everything: Instagram, Facebook. The website's bandsofbakersfield.com. The only thing that's different is Twitter is Bands of Bako.
Bands of Bako. Follow Midnight Dorsett should follow us on the Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't have that. I was getting mixed up with TikTok.
I have a personal. I just use it to like read articles so you have to click the link and then they won't let you read it unless you have an
Twitter account.
But I need to make one for Midnight Dorsett so we can share all of our political beliefs.
There you go, because that's what I like to think about all the time.
Oh,
yeah, me too.
We want to know where we stand.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the name of this song?
This song is called "Are You Okay?" It looks like an acronym, but it's not. It's just "Are You Okay?"
Is it about somebody that's probably not okay? They're not looking too good.
Yeah, pretty much.
They throw up.
Yeah, this one is about someone that needs to spend more time listening.
Sorry,
that's okay.
He can't keep us to the stupid things I keep saying.
No, but
sorry about that.
As someone that needs to spend more time, listening, using their ears than using their mouth.
Oh yeah, I thought you were telling me about that earlier. That's right.
I'm sure we all know somebody like that.
Somebody that thinks they have 2 mouths in one ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 mouths in one ear.
Kind of like me, this podcast right now today, pretty much. Yeah. Drink too much coffee beforehand. Anyway.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you guys very much, and go ahead and get it. Let's go.
All right.
Anaphylactic soul is crying out for a bowl of something sweet. Better feed it. Heard the warning once or twice and still ignoring better sense. Better heed it. Open your ears and shut your mouth. You might learn a lot. Go look for your kick somewhere else. Know you need it. thought. You know what I'm thinking. Open your ears and shut your mouth. You might learn a lot. Go dry your tears on someone else. Know you need it. Open your heart and let me out. One more day on the ropes, then I really gotta leave and see what tomorrow brings. Don't wanna be alone, don't think that I should stay. Are you okay? Open your ears and shut your mouth. You might learn a lot. Go dry your tears on someone else. 'Cause I stopped listening. Open your heart and let me out. One more day on the ropes, then I really gotta leave and see what tomorrow brings. Don't wanna be alone, I don't think that I should stay. Are you okay? Open your ears and shut your mouth. You might learn a lot. But look for your feet somewhere else. I know you need it. Open your heart and let me out.
Slick, you guys ate dinner?
Nope.
You guys want to go eat some dinner?
I think so.
Jack in the Box, Del Taco, or I don't know, wherever.
Jerry's Pizza.
Yeah, let's go to Jerry's. I like pizza. They have salads too.